I like to share. This is going to be a deep one. This is going to be deep, but this is the report for the week of 9/11. I'm back on my shit, and I'll explain where this is coming from. All right, so on 9/11, the IC will be in Aquarius. Again, I do use Vedic astrology transits and things, but I communicate it in a modern tropical astrology type of way. So follow me, y'all. All right, the IC will be in Aquarius at 10 degrees in the 4th house. So this placement is very personal to me, as I have this placement in my natal birth chart. But also for most Americans, energetically, this will be deeply felt, considering the atrocity that was committed against this country on this day back in 2001. I understand the IC in astrology to be much like our moon signs and placements. However, the IC runs much deeper. The moon reveals our mother, familiarity, and instincts, whereas the IC represents our generational roots, the initial seed implanted into the ground, both of which run deeper than our moon sign. The IC in astrology is where we find our genesis, our beginning, our true ancestry. Whenever you get your ancestry test done to inquire about who you are further and where you come from, the information given or found is in the IC. That's the IC energy. We all seem to have generational karma to sort out here on Earth, and in this human experience, this is truly a blessing in disguise. Like the moon, the 4th house is a reserved and highly protected, different, and even weird home, okay? I say weird because everyone has their own roots, moral code, and simply does things differently from the next family in some capacity. For example, I was raised with dogs, and I find it completely normal to sleep with dogs in my bed, whereas someone else may have been raised to never allow dogs in their home, let alone in their bed with them to sleep. On a more serious note, we all have inherited genes, gifts, talents, fears, trauma, and personality traits from the 4th house, some of which may be hidden still. Now, with the IC in Aquarius at 10 degrees, it's cusping the 2nd decan where the planet Mercury takes over. In other words, many who are receptive will discover more information on their ancestry, discover dormant gifts, talents, and some health issues may arise for some at this time. Not all bad, but not all good. Hidden health issues or simply your genetic makeup may begin to communicate to you at this time. Personally, I've been noticing a lot of beauty marks, moles, and eczema, and some mildly serious health issues that have arisen for me during this time. Considering my rising sign is in Libra, kind of cusping Scorpio, but Libra nonetheless, which is the vanity sign. This is the body, the beauty, okay, the skin. So my body is talking. Now look to your rising sign to see how this may manifest for you. However, I'm very intelligent and spiritually gifted in many areas that are now coming out, and I finally feel confident to express and to learn more about them. I can keep going with this placement, but to sum it up, when loved ones die, it's traditional to honor them. Aquarius energy is not so traditional. However, this is where the blessing in disguise comes in, especially with the planet Mercury taking over. Instead of traditionally mourning to honor our past loved ones and ancestors, we shall finally express, create, love, rejoice, discover, embrace, and be glad in all things good and bad that has been passed down to us, and ultimately liberate and change the game. By change the game, I mean continue paving the way, fighting the good fight, taking the baton, and running it with it. She's a runner, she's a track star. Hey. Now, I don't want to jump ahead, but I noticed that the sun is in Leo in the 11th house. Again, this is Vedic astrology. The sun is in Leo in the 11th house, which only confirms such. The descendant is going to be in Aries in the 7th house, which confirms this furthermore. Now, for me, this will play out in how I relate and love others. Aquarius energy in the IC indicates loner, misunderstood, and unaccepted energy. And I was adopted and felt unwelcomed and unloved the majority of my life. And I manifested the same up until 22 years old. I'm now 29. I've been on this journey, and only now am I ready to fully honor my ancestors loud and proud. Yes, I've recently dealt with some health issues, but I understand why those arose, and I'm brave and strong enough to overcome them. I never wanted children because my mother and father sinned. I never witnessed true love or experienced such. I never felt that I had a purpose, let alone felt important enough to carry out the purpose. But this has changed drastically recently. I want love, a loving family of my own and children to pass the baton to. I never understood why women went through great lengths to have families, but I'm starting to understand more in depth, and I deserve that. I'm adopted, and I always felt like I would repeat my mother's mistakes and my children would be taken away from me somehow, or maybe I'd simply be a bad and uncaring and non-nurturing mother. But those are all lies that I want to correct, that, to pay it forward. I want some babies, y'all. I'm very interested to know what family curses you are breaking and what you are rebuilding at this time. Leave a comment or email me. I think the moon and Venus is in Cancer will all bring up some emotional feels when I cover it in this report, but that's it. We're going to have to be gangsta at this time. Thank you so much for your time. This report will be coming out next week. I'm working on it. Bye and good morning. Happy Labor Day.